Hi guys, Trader Michael here, and in today's video we will talk about what is Myfxbook. So, what programs do you use except for the platform? I'm sure most of traders use calculators to calculate the lot size or stop out, the economic calendar. As you develop your skills and become a more advanced trader, you start keeping trading journals, employing various programs, and creating or testing expert advisors and indicators, or maybe even scripts for the platform. At some point, there comes a need for a single tool that would combine multiple basic functions often used by a trader, so that it can replace a dozen of more specified programs. This tool is called a monitoring service. Account monitoring service is a platform that allows you to manage multiple Forex accounts and analyze your trading activity. It also provides an access to analytical materials and enables you to publish your account statement. The fully functional services of this class are not numerous. One of the most famous is Myfxbook. Myfxbook is a platform that combines the functions of a trading platform, trading journal, supplemented with advanced analytical tools, Forex analytics, and forum. So there is everything for analyzing your trading systems and accounts and sharing ideas with other traders. So how a trader can use the Myfxbook app? It's a kind of a business card for an account manager. Myfxbook is a brokerage independent platform that ensures the interest of its users. A trader can make their pages publicly accessible and show their audited trading results, sending the password to the investors, where potential investors will see all the statistics without possibility of interfering with the trades. Okay, so how an investor can use a Myfxbook app? Investors get an access of hundreds of Forex trading systems, both manual and algorithmic. They can subscribe to trading signals to take part in the discussions or on any topics, and this is an international platform where you can find many investment options. Myfxbook tracks fake accounts and conducts a thorough verification of its users. Investors can ask for an investor's password and thus get access to the detailed information on a trading account. Investors decide on their own how to use this information. For example, you can assume the strategy type based on the particular equity changes. You can evaluate the risk level or analyze the trading performance. Okay, so now let's switch to the screen view and check what we can do with Myfxbook. Okay guys, so now let's jump to the website, and the first tool that we can use on Myfxbook is the economic calendar. And I think it's a typical tool. So now let's move on to the calculators, and the very one good calculator that I think many of you would like to use is the position size calculator, and it generally calculates for you all the all the math for you. And how to calculate it manually I showed in the previous video, but here you have the solution to the manual calculation. You choose the currency pair which you want to trade. You choose the account currency, which currency currently you have the account, the number of your capital. For example, let's choose $100,000, and you want to risk 1% for this particular trade. And in your strategy, you see that you will have to set a stop loss around 50 pips, and this one will calculate for you in this situation that I could use 2 lots if I want to keep the 1% risk. So the next interesting thing is for all of the candlestick chart pattern lovers, and it is the scanner of the candlestick patterns. You go to the markets tab, click on patterns, and you choose here and this tool scans all the currency pairs chosen by you on the particular time frame, and scan for the particular candlestick chart pattern. I think this is a very interesting tool. So for example, you have all of the most popular candlestick chart patterns like abandoned baby, advanced block, belt hold breakaway, closing marubozu, and right now, for example, we have a doji at USD CAD on a 5 minutes time frame. So you can adjust all the settings to your particular trading regime. You can choose many of the currency pairs and all of the candlestick chart patterns which you like. So Let's close that. And as we talked about, what you can do with the Myfxbook is sort of a business card for the account manager. So next we will talk about how to analyze an account with the tools that we have on Myfxbook. Okay, now let's switch to the some random trader account which I found on internet and see how we can analyze this account on with the Myfxbook tools. So the first thing that we see are the general information, and it displays the information about the account type, is it real, send or demo, about the broker, about the types of analysis applied, and the trading method. In this case, the trading is conducted automatically and according to the technical analysis. So next we have leverage and the trading platform which he uses. And here there is an obvious flaw. For example, I could not find a history of changes to this information. A trader will hardly change the trading platform, but the leverage size is surely not a constant value. If this is the maximal leverage, what does this information even suggest to a trader? So as for the gain, it is calculated based on the initial deposits. So any cash flow, any additional deposit and withdrawal doesn't affect the gain, but it can be manipulated in a way that, for example, initial deposit is very small and therefore you made a bigger deposit and you trade based on overall risk-reward ratio. So that would mean that, for example, you deposited $100 and you trade with one lot position size, and therefore any gains are compared to the initial deposits, even over time, they are very, very huge. So the thing that we need to pay attention to is the absolute gain, because it calculates the performance based on overall all the deposits made, overall deposits and withdrawals made during the trading period. So as you can see in this example, the profit was 10,000, and based on the balance, you see that it is accurate. And 42%, you can't even find any data that would explain this gain, because we need to look for the transactions with the deposit and withdrawals in the history and in the statements. So now next we have the drawdown, which is the maximal drawdown during the entire trading history. And next we have the balance, which is the current funds on the account. Next one is equity, which is the result, the current amount of all positions, including the open positions. And if the value is over 100%, it means that the positions currently open are yielding profit. If it is less than 100%, it means that the current trades are losing. So highest, maximal funds that have ever been on the account, and the date is in brackets. So next we have the profit, and this is the total yield of closed positions for the entire period, the total result. Interest, it is the total swap costs. Withdrawals, it is the total amount withdrawn from the deposit. Updated, the time of monitoring update. In theory, it should be automatically updated at least once in a few hours, or even a few times in an hour. If it hasn't been updated for a longer time, it means that there are either problem with the account synchronization, or the trader switched the monitoring off the main account. And both those situations should put the investor into alert. Tracking, this is the number of Myfxbook users who added this monitoring to favorites. That is, we can say, the interest in this strategy. So next we have the chart block. And first we have the growth. It shows the statistics for balance and equity in percentage points. In theory, they should be equal, but when you see yellow zigzags in the above screenshot, it means that there are sometimes losses, because the trader may hold the positions for too long or use grid trading or martingale. At the bottom of the chart, there are columns that represents the daily volume of trades. If you compare it with the changes in the deposit amount, you can roughly define the type of a trading strategy applied. In More tab, you can switch the bottom chart from lots into pips. So next we have the balance tab. This section represents balance and equity in money terms. That is the amount of money on the account with and without consideration of the open positions. In theory, a lower balance on the account may suggest a loss. So this section should be analyzed together with the sections of growth and profit. If there is a divergence, there is a profit, but the balance is declining, it means that some money has been withdrawn from the account. It is important information from PAM-oriented investors. Next, we have profit. The chart represents basically the profits that were made on this account. It provides little information, but it can be still of use. If the trader doesn't top up the deposits or withdraws the money, the chart should look like the one in the growth tab. There shouldn't be any divergence between the charts. So next we have the drawdown. It is the amount of the drawdown expressed in the percentage. It can be rarely found in the broker's account monitors. It makes sense to study the drawdown chart together with the economic calendar and with the growth chart, where the dates of deep drawdowns may match to sharp drops in equity. Go back to the growth tab and the balance tab and pay attention to the dates. So what you should verify in the drawdown tab is that the maximum information about the drawdown, for example, right here we have the 17.75%, and the information from the left, from the info and general stats and about the drawdown, because if there is a divergence, it means that the account was disconnected and reconnected again, and that would mean that there was some complications during that period, and the trader could manipulate the results of this account. So now let's move on to the trading tab. We have the tab periods and the information about this year performance and some information about the percentage in the brackets. And basically it means that the green one, the first one, is this current year performance, and the number in the brackets is the difference between this and last year performance. But you need to also have that in mind, that it analyzes not the last 12 months, but it analyzes the last calendar period. So for example, if we have if this trader was last time available, or his account was last time updated at February, this means that it only represents the 2 months compared to the last, for example, 12 months, right? So you need to have that in mind. You also have this icon here, which explains the whole concept. So next you have the tab goals. It doesn't have the goals any. And next we have the browser, and basically right here you can analyze all the trades that the trader made, and they are represented on the charts. So for example, we would have to look for the currency pairs that he was trading and the period that he was trading on, and therefore we could analyze how the trades were triggered, where he entered and where he exited particular trades, and therefore try to analyze his trading system. So that is all for the trading tab, and now let's move on to the advanced statistics. Okay, and the first tab is trades. This section looks like the MT4 backtesting statement. It represents the profitability of trades, the total commissions amount except for swap and spread. Next we have the average win-loss, the best and the worst trades, and so on. So most parameters are clear by the names, so I'll just explain some of them. So profitability is the band displays the ratio of winning, the green one, and losing, the red one, trades. The indicator itself doesn't mean anything. There may be many winning trades with small profits that are exceeded by a few losing trades. So the parameter is analyzed together with the average win-loss ratio. And the approach to defining an optimal ratio is subjective, but it is obvious that the ratio, for example, 20 to 80 in favor of losses, meaning 20 winning trades compensate the loss in the total, means either trading the martingale whale or the imbalance of the system. So let's go to the advanced statistics, and first we have how many trades it conducted, the profitability, which means the percentage of the winning trades to the losing trades, and we have, for example, here 536 out of 704 trades, which represents 76%, lost 168 trades. Okay, how many pips it won? 9,820, and average win is 26.53 pips, and in terms of money it is $25.10. Average loss is minus 26.18 pips, and it in money terms it is almost $20. Lots means, of course, how many lots was traded. Commissions, which means basically how much commission he paid along generating this trade statement. So how many long trades won, shorts won, best trade, worst trade, best trade in pips, worst trade in terms of pips, average trade length, which is 2 days, profit factor. It is basically risk reward ratio. You can see in the explanation here that the profit factor shows how many times the gross profit, which means sum of all the winning trades, exceeds the gross loss sum of all the losing trades. The higher the value, the better. Which basically it means that the expected risk reward ratio for a particular trade. Standard deviation, which is basically the volatility represented in US dollars. There is no percentage representation, so it is another flaw of the Myfxbook developers. As for the Sharpe ratio, I will cover this topic in a separate video. Basically, it is well explained here that the Sharpe ratio is used to characterize how well the return of an asset compensates the investor for the risk taken. The higher the value, the better. And Z-score is the probability of a series of trades with the same results. Basically, what we can see is that there is a 55% chances that any win or any lost trade will be followed by the next one. And expectancy, it displays the average expected profitability of one trade expressed in pips and in the deposit currency. What is AHPR and GHPR is a little bit unclear. These parameters are briefly mentioned in an article on the MQL5, but it hasn't explained anything. So we should just follow what is written here, that this arithmetic average holding period is the average holding period return. So the system makes on average 0.05 return on each trade. And the GHPR, a system having the largest GHPR will make the highest profits if compounded. A GHPR less than 0% means that the system will lose money if compounded. So it has more than 0%. So it means it basically shouldn't lose if compounded. And next we have the tab summary. Right here we see all the stats divided by the particular asset, how many trades, pips, profit trades, etc. for longs, shorts, and in total values. Next we have the hourly, which is divided by every hour of the trading session. So basically we can see that, for example, on the 17 on 5 p.m. The most winning trades were made, and overall the most trades were made during that hour. So next, let's go for the days, and it divides us the stats for particular days during the weekend, as we see that the most winning trades and most trades overall were done on Wednesday. And next is the risk of ruin, which is another unusual tab which I recommend to skip, as there are many unclear points about it. It shows the risk of losing a particular part of the deposit and the number of trades that should be consecutively entered. So that is part of the deposit will be lost. So for example, it shows us that the probability of losing 10% of our account would require consecutive 394 days. But if we check the growth tab, we see that, for example, here, it didn't took that many trades to generate the drawdown minus 10%. So I think it is a little bit of a nonsense. The minimal risk showed in the stats, it turns it a very high one in the practice. Besides, traders may manipulate their performance analytics because Myfxbook's formulas don't take into account many factors. So next we have the duration. And unlike the previous section, this tab is quite useful, though its analytics still leaves many questions. It displays the statistics that show a few moments. The first one is the trade duration, and the more to the right is the dot in the chart, the longer the trader holds a position open. So as we can see in this example, the trader hold some trades for longer than a week. We have the 7 days, 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks, 23 days, 3 weeks, and 2 losing trades, 32 days, and even 43 days. So basically, the more green dots to the left and close to each other, the better. So now the MAA and MFE tab. The tab shows the maximum possible loss or profit. But what can this information suggest to an investor? It is purely speculation and forecasting from the crystal ball. So now let's go into trading activity block. It displays detailed information on each trade, like in the MT4 backtesting report, where the general statistic is followed by an expanded list. It specifies the assets, the trade type, open close type, net profit, and so on. There are separate tabs for open positions, for all the positions, and for pending orders. If we can only assume the trader's strategy based on the previous tabs, there we can see everything concerning the trading system. How pending orders are opened, if trading stop is used, is the holding time too long, and so on. So next we have the monthly analysis. It is a very informative tab. The general tab displays the total result for the month of this year and the previous year. The more stable is trading performance, the better. There can be another variant. Some months may be losing, standing out of the monthly statistic, and some months, on the contrary, can be especially profitable. This suggests that a high-risk strategy is applied, and that should be a warning for an investor. And the last thing I want to mention is right at the bottom of the website. It is custom analysis, where we can filter in various ways the information that we have on this account. We can filter the information on the trading week, on the particular hours of the day, based on the trades, which is minimum, maximum profit gain, duration, the pips, etc., etc. Only buy orders, only sell orders, the deposit withdrawals, how it occurred during the creating of the statement, etc., etc. So now let's talk about the ways to recognize fake and real accounts on Myfxbook, and we will talk about those two informations that we have right here that I said we will talk about later in the video. So the first thing is a green tick saying that track record verified. It must appear at the top of the account, which shows that the information provided on Myfxbook matches broker's information. This means that all trades, deposit, and withdrawals displayed here are confirmed by the broker. It also tells you if the account is real or just a demo. The second thing is the second green tick, displaying trading privileges verified, is also another identifier at the top of the account. This means that the account holder providing these results is actual person and has the rights to use the account for trading. It is a way to prevent others from using someone else's account after having somehow obtained its password. There can be a situation where a scammer creates a monitoring of someone else's account, passing it off as his own, and that is the trader without knowing anything is trading, and the fraudster makes a statement from his account and sells strategies or experts, etc. So Myfxbook blocks this by requesting confirmation that the account holder and monitoring owner is one and the same person. So next thing what you should do is to check the broker. The platform is international, so an investor from Canada, for example, may know nothing about the Belgian broker. Visit the broker's website, read comments, analyze the regulations, click on tabs, and it won't take you more than 20 minutes. Next is account age. You will often find an account that has performed well for a couple of months and then gone bust. That's why you need to look for accounts with a long trading history, because it's hard to fake success for a long period. And as I told you previously, the last date of monitoring update, the equity curve shouldn't be under the balance curve. If it is, the trader is most likely trading the martingale. Okay, so resuming, what are the Myfxbook advantages? Firstly, there are no analogs of such class. And the chief advantage of Myfxbook is that there is no platform on the same type that have the same capacities. Trading, after all, is a rather specific business, and investment in developing high-quality software are not always economically justified. Here I can even give an example of MetaQuotes, which has not been trying to eliminate the well-known MT4 bugs for a long time. It is similar with Myfxbook. This monitoring service fully satisfies the requirements of most traders, and there is no point in creating a competitive analog. It will not simply pay off. So next is free access to its functions. It is reasonable. If the developers charge money for the access to the platform capacities, traders would prefer to use standard programs that are ample and free on the internet. Okay, so now let's talk about some disadvantages. So firstly, not everything works correctly. When reviewing each tab of the account monitoring, I point out some inconsistencies where the data in different places clearly contradict each other. And this is also a developer flaw. When you only start using Myfxbook, discrepancies in statistics may confuse you. Only when you get some more experience, you will understand which tabs are incorrect and which should be ignored at all. So next we have account synchronization problem. Account information on the server should be automatically displayed on Myfxbook, but it happens that the result of trading are displayed in the monitor with a long delay. Attempts to contact support services according to reviews of traders facing the problem did not help. Also, users complained about the problem of confirming the track records and trading privileges when connecting on account via MT4 mode publisher. There are solutions to the problem, but why they are so complicated? You need to answer it by yourself. So, moving forward. Next, the lack of storage of the account history and the dependence on the history that the broker keeps. If a broker keeps a maximum year of trading history, which brokers honestly warn about, then only this period will be taken into account in the statistics. If we take into account that for many indicators a sample of at least 3 to 5 years is recommended, the monitoring statistics will hardly reflect the real performance in general. Another thing is that there is no difference between the dollar and cent accounts. Visually, the investor sees statistics with a large volume of transactions, but in fact, trading is conducted on a cent account. Next, there are problems with the site translation into languages other than English. English is the main language. When you try to switch to some other languages, half of the tabs and the text remains in English. It is not convenient, but it still can be used. So concluding all of it, Myfxbook is an interesting application and it is worth your attention. One should at least get acquainted with it and test its functions and capacities. It is, of course, far from being perfect and it will not necessarily meet your expectations. Nonetheless, it provides much more opportunities for analysis compared to other testers and simulators. I personally believe that the major advantage of this platform is that it provides a guarantee. Even though it is not a 100% guarantee, but it is better than nothing, that the trading on the account is real. So I hope you liked the video and I well reasonably explained all the informations on the website. And yeah, thank you for watching and till next time guys, take care, bye.